Greetings, Nelson here with another instructional video. As always, these videos are for instructional purposes only. Today we're going to be talking about upcycling Chromebooks that are stuck in time. In particular, in the example today, we're going to be using an eduGear M4 Chromebook. And it has an ARM processor. I believe it's a rk3288. You can confirm that for me. Pardon me. And this Chromebook is stuck in time using Chrome on version 84. If you'll notice, I've just used the recovery key to reflash the latest stock Chrome OS that you can get from Google. Again, it's version 84. I think the latest release for production machines is like 109 or 110, something like that. So you can clearly see that this machine is stuck in time, and I think it received its final updates on June 2020. So it definitely hasn't had updates for a couple of years. So a lot of people think that once you have a piece of equipment like this, one, that it's stuck in time and it's really not good for the customer. It hasn't gotten any security updates or other updates that keep the customer's browsing experience safe. And a lot of people don't know how to, in particular on these ARM models, how to flash Linux on there. Today we're going to demonstrate how to flash Debian Linux on the machine. And we're going to upcycle it, and it's really cool, and we breathe a lot of new life in the machine. So what we have right here is I have a factory recovered an eduGear M4. If you'll notice, I'm going to pull the key out here. It's going to reboot. I'll let it boot up to the Chrome Let's Go screen, just so you can see that we did in fact do a factory recovery on it, a power wash, or something. You know, there's different things, a factory reset essentially. Okay, so we have this nice Chromebook that has just become dated, and its usefulness in its current state is really questionable. So hold the power button down. I'll come up here and turn the machine off. Now, one thing I do want to tell you is that I have opened the device, removed the right protect screw, and made some BIOS settings on the factory Chromebook BIOS. I have not replaced the BIOS. I merely took the right protect screw out, made the settings that I wanted to, and then I put the right protect screw back in to protect those settings, and that's what I have now. So I'm going to put this SD card that I have Debian Linux installed on. I'm going to put it in there. I have set the device, the Chromebook, to be able to boot from the SD card. I'll hit the power. On this screen, I hit a keystroke to tell it to look for the SD card boot. And as you can see, we are now booting Linux. Now this Linux is running from the SD card. And there are a lot of people that choose to do that. Today what I want to show you is actually installing Linux to the internal eMMC memory or storage space. Here comes our cursor, and essentially we have a display manager login where you could log in and start using this device with the software that you have configured on Debian with the SD card. I'm not going to do that or show you that because my main goal is to show you how we can flash this device so it doesn't need that SD card to boot, and then we're running off that internal storage. So here we go. I'm going to open a terminal here for myself. I'm going to escalate my privileges. And on this SD card right here, this is a VEY RON Chromebook. I think that's pronunciated Veron. I already have a little script written. So what this script is doing, in a nutshell, it's wiping the Chrome OS off of the internal storage. It's creating a layout and structure so that the default BIOS with the extra settings that we have set can in fact boot this local installation. And those settings too are important because we need those settings to install the software and boot from the SD card. Now, this takes a little time. Here we've laid out the partition structure. We're copying the software from the SD card over to the internal storage. It'll vary. I haven't given an exact count to that. But to recap, we started with something that was stuck in time and unable to move, and had clearly would have diminished the value of the hardware. What we're doing is we are upcycling this so that we can breathe new life right back into that hardware. And with respect to that hardware, let me just make a mild comparison to a Raspberry Pi. This is not by any means an apple to an apple. But Raspberry Pis are fairly expensive, even if you buy them used or an older generation. When you look at this Chromebook, this eduGear M4 Chromebook, you've got a functional board with Linux on it. You have a keyboard, a trackpad, and a monitor, a camera, a microphone. This is really a nice little development machine. So it's finished doing our stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and type in reboot. Oh, little typo there. Nope. Sorry about that. And when this shuts down, I'm going to remove the SD card right here. SD card out. Splash screen comes up. And voila. We are now booting from our natively installed Linux on the eduGear M4 Chromebook. We're booting Debian here. We're going to come up here to our display manager, and I'll go ahead and log you in so you can see the desktop. Now at this point, so it's my perception that Google no longer supports 32-bit architectures in, there may be some special case or something I'm not aware of, but in a nutshell, Google doesn't support its official Chrome for this architecture. However, what you can do is you can install any of the packages that are supported for the architecture from Debian, and in particular, you can install Chromium and log in with your Google account, and you essentially get the free open source experience of Google Chrome, which is called Chromium on the OS version, on the free open source version. So, up here just to show you that the Wi-Fi does work. There's our available networks. I hope you can see that. So, in a nutshell, that kind of concludes the video today. This was just to demonstrate to you how we can upcycle this equipment and keep this carbon footprint to get a longer reward from this carbon footprint. And I've used these, and they're a peppy little machine. It really makes them functional and usable to install Linux on them. Many people, there are tricks you can do to install Linux on the Intel platform with Mr. Chromebox and some different tools, but this is, I did not modify the BIOS other than to change settings to get to where I could boot from my SD card. And again, the unit is in developer mode. But that kind of concludes the video today. I really hope this explains how we can breathe some new life in these units and give them a second chance. So thanks for watching the video. Have a good day.